5 is only 28 years old, and that's Santander and Mullins. And the Baltimore Orioles are a team built on youth, as you can see, especially when it comes to guys on starting pitchers and their big starting pitching prospect who could easily definitely make the opening day roster with Grayson Rodriguez. Yeah, you know what, I agree. Colorado, do I agree? It's not a bad question, actually. Austin, top 3 in Stanley Cup in the hockey. Boston, New York, Colorado. Boston, New York, I agree with. I don't know in that order, though. I think I have New York ahead of Boston, but uh, it's tough to pick Colorado because they're so hurt right now, and they're missing some really important dudes. I don't know. I might go Dallas instead of Colorado, maybe. Either them or Carolina. I'll either go Colorado, them, or top 2 in the West, or Colorado. Winnipeg? No, Winnipeg's not top 2 in the West. Dallas is more ahead of Winnipeg. Anyway, Grace Rodriguez, 23-year-old starting pitcher, hasn't, of course, played a MLB season yet, but, of course, being at 23, I can easily see him being called to the open day roster very soon. And that's the thing with Baltimore. Baltimore's got a lot of young people on the team, guys like D.L. Hall, Grayson Rodriguez, of course, to start with. Their bullpen's a lot older. And you got Felix as closer. And you have the insane Adley Rushman. He's only 25. You got Ryan Mountcastle, 26. Frazier's their second baseman. Of course, he used to play for guys like Pittsburgh and Seattle. He's 31. I believe in the infield, he's the oldest. You got Ramon Urias at third at only 28. Shortstop. 2 people definitely didn't pay this to play this position. They're really good. Top number 1 prospect coming into the season this year that was ranked by MLB.com, Gunnar Henderson, shortstop / third baseman for Baltimore. He played 36 games last season, and so this one's going to be his full rookie campaign. Definitely a lot of people's person to look out for. Yeah, the Dallas is Ottinger and Scott Wedgwood in net for them. They also have a good defense. And, of course, if they don't need to use Gunner, they got Jorge Mateo, very fast, one of the fastest dudes in the league. And they got their former, second overall pick, Jackson Holliday. You got guys like Austin Hayes over there in the left field spot. They got Seti Mullins. You got Colton Cowser over in center. You got Anthony Santander, Heston Kjerstad. Lots of young dudes for Baltimore. So that's the Orioles for you. I believe they're ranked 19th or 20th in the game when it comes to teams. Next is the Boston Red Sox. Definitely a team that has an interesting game plan this season. Don't even know what the game plan is. Yeah, Chris Sale as their highest rated player at an 86 starting pitcher. I don't believe I'll have him start for them because I believe in real life he's hurt for a little while, but he may start for them. Who knows? Rafael Devers, 26-year-old, just signed a big 11-year deal with Boston. Something that really they should have done with Mookie Betts and Xander Bogaerts, but of course they left. Of course, Mookie left after he won a World Series with them back in 2018, and Bogaerts just left for San Diego. You got Kenley Jansen, former closing pitcher of Dodgers and the Braves. You got John here, Stewball over here, and you got Garrett Whitlock. So a lot of pitching dudes over in Boston that are very high rated. Their highest rated infielder is Rafael Devers, and then for their outfield, really their highest rated dude is Adam Duvall, former World Series champion. And then it's Kike. Most of the Boston Red Sox lineups meh, due to the fact because of their they apparently got a lot of older dudes that just don't really have anything to prove left. I mean, look at their starting rotation. That's a weak starting rotation, really, other than Sale. They don't have really too many impact dudes. Yeah, Whitlock's 26, but he hasn't really done much. Kluber's old as hell. He's 36. Paxton, no. The really young dude, other than Whitlock, is Brian Bello. Oh, I hit the wrong button again. Same with relievers. They don't really have a strong bullpen either. It's really the closers, the only good thing about their pitching. Catchers don't really have anyone that's actually good other than Jorge Afalo, but he's only like a 70 overall. Other than that, all their good catchers are more entwined with the major leagues. First baseman, Bobby Dahlback. I mean, I think he's actually supposed to play shortstop to start the season because Trevor Story's going to be out for a few months, so they'll most likely be Tristan Costas over in first. I guess I'll just move him right now as I can. See, right now, Trevor Story's over at second. Well, he's injured in real life, so he won't be playing second. So that mostly be Bobby Dahlback playing second. Oh, Story's got an elbow problem. Yes, that is correct. Yeah, that's correct, actually. Third baseman, Rafael Devers, of course. I think Just Turner's going to come off the bench. Of course, former Los Angeles Dodger. And I don't think anyone's going to replace Devers. They signed Alberto Mondesi not too long ago, very fast. But, I mean, the dude hadn't played, like, in 2 years, I think. And then they got their big prospect, Marcelo Meyer. Or whatever I said beforehand. Very good player. Can't wait to see when he comes back up. Verdugo and my dudes. I like Verdugo. And Ramal Tapia, former Toronto Blue Jay. Surprised he went to Boston of all places. Kike Hernandez back Mr. October a few years ago. And you got Adam Duvall. And that's really it for Boston. Like I said, they don't have a game plan this season, so who the hell knows where they'll end up in that division. One of the best teams in the league for, not just in the AL, but in the whole league itself, New York Yankees. Judge, AL MVP. Carlos Rodon, former, used to play for Chicago. They went to the Giants. Now he's in New York. Garrett Cole. Luis Severino, Michael Caine, Nestor Cortez, Clay Holmes, Rizzo, LeMahieu, Stanton, Bader, Cabrera, Torres. Hell of a lineup that the Yankees have this season. Definitely one of the best teams. They're probably the best team in their entire division. Just Boston's a city of champions. No. Well, yeah, they are. But, I mean, they haven't really won a title since 2018, Boston Red Sox. Disgusting starting pitching. I mean, that's just a nasty top five. Rodon, Cole, Severino, Cortez, Kerman, just insane. Relievers, yeah, Michael Caine. That man right in itself is good enough. And you got Clay Holmes at closer. Really, their catcher is not that guy, by the way, if you want to know. It's Jose Trevino, won a Gold Glove last year. First baseman, Rizzo, former Cub, World Series champ. We got Gleyber Torres at second. LeMahieu's over at third with Donaldson, the former Blue Jay man. Shortstop, yeah, Oswalt Pereira here. I think he might play in the field to start. You got crappy Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and then you got top prospect Anthony Volpe. Volpe should be starting in real life, but they haven't freaking called him up yet. Yeah, there's Peraza. There's Oswalt Cabrera over at left with Higgs. You got Vader, Harrison Bader, and Ortega's right there too. You got the Martian, Jason Dominguez. You got Judge and Stanton over in the field. Stanton's mostly a designated hitter, so he probably won't be playing field that much. Yeah, true. Judge and Stanton, and that's really about it about the Yankees. Definitely a top team in the league. Who knows what's going to happen with them this season. Tampa Bay, a very good pitching team, very well at pitching, and they're a very good team at finding young prospects. Shane McClanahan finished second in Cy Young voting, had a great year, was an all-star too, even though he missed some time. Drew Rasmussen, Jason Adam, Tyler Glasnow, Randy, the man Arozarena. He had a hell of a time in the World Baseball Classic for Team Mexico. Springs, and Wander Franco. Really like Wander Franco. He's only 22. Dude's insane. Starting pitching, they got definitely that. They got a great top four. Nice bullpen with a good closer. Catcher, catching's not that great. Christian Bethancourt, former pitcher for the Padres. He's okay. They lost their really good catcher, though. He went to Cleveland. First baseman Harold Ramirez used to be G-Man Choi, but G-Man went over to the Pirates due to a trade. They got some good players, though, in the majors. Evan Edwards, Kyle. Second base, Brandon Lau. Really, it's Brandon Lowe, but he prefers to go by Brandon Lau. Yadi Diaz had a great season last year. As you see, if you look at his stats, 27 runs scored, 140 hits, 33 doubles, 9 homers, 57 RBIs. Great season for him. Isaac Brawlsis. Shortstop, the young one Franco. The outfield is a Rosarena, Jose Siri, the former Astro. Josh Lowe. Don't believe he has connection to Brandon Lowe. He may. It's either him or Nathaniel Lowe he has a connection to. And then you got Manuel Malt, Riley. And that's really about it for the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays, they're a good team. They're really good at pitching. So you got to be careful when you're playing against them. And we get to my favorite team in the entire AL East division, the Toronto Blue Jays. I'll have to go over the top 5. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Alek Manoah, George Springer, Kevin Gausman, and Alejandro Kirk for the Blue Jays. That's their top 5. Great looking team on paper for the Blue Jays, even though they got best in the Wild Card Series last year against the Seattle Mariners. Of course, Manoah and Gausman, Bassett, Barrios, and Kikuchi for the starting. You got Swanson and Bass for your bullpen. You got Romano for the closing. Romano actually had a fine World Baseball Classic for Team Mexico, so it looks like it could be better this season for them. Alejandro Kirk and Danny Jansen for the catching group. Alejandro Kirk was actually, I believe, the starting catcher for the AO in the All-Star game. You got Vladdy at first, won a Gold Glove, had a hell of a season, even though his season from 2021 was a little bit better. And you got former San Francisco Giant player Brandon Belt. Second base is Whit Merrifield, the former Kansas City Royal. Blech, hate the Royals. And you got Espinal over at second with Kevin Biggio. Chapman's at third, former Athletic. Athletics are not great. We'll get to them when we cross that bridge. Bo Bichette over at shortstop. He just actually got a new contract. And got their top prospect, Martinez. Left fielder Dalton Varsho. Picked him up from the Diamondbacks. We'll talk about who they got from that trade later. You got Kevin Kiermaier, the former Tampa Bay Ray. He used to play center for them or in right field, but now he's in Toronto. And in right field, the man himself, George Springer, former Houston Astro World Series champion. That is the Toronto Blue Jays. Most likely the second best team in that division. That is a tough division to win anyway, so there's your AL AL East division. If I had to pick in real life how I would think the division will go, I would go Boston at 5, Baltimore at 4, Tampa Bay 3, Toronto 2nd, and New York 1st. It's kind of a toss-up between the Blue Jays and Yankees, who's going to finish 1st and 2nd. But anyway, that's enough about the AL East. Let's go to the AL Central. The Chicago White Sox. Interesting team they got over here in Chicago. They had a terrible season last year. Just not good at all. They're supposed to be a team that's actually good, but they just not had a good season last year due to injury and COVID problems and other sickness-related issues with injuries. Dylan Cease was top 3 in Cy Young last season. Liam Hendricks, real life Liam Hendricks is not playing this season due to cancer issues, but This is a game, and he doesn't have cancer issues in real life. So, and in the game version, so Liam Hendricks will be playing. You got Lance Lynn. I forgot who he used to play for. Oh yeah, the Rangers. Luis Robert. Interesting, their top actual outfielders Robert this year, and the top infielder is Tim Anderson, and of course my man Eloy Jimenez. The White Sox actually do have a good farm system too, so if they ever need to call up anyone, they actually have those people. Starting pitching is okay, not too bad. They used to have a lethal top pitching unit, but due to Rodon and some other people leaving, it's changed. Cease, Lynn, Kopech, Giolito, and Clevenger. Not a bad bullpen. Could be better, and of course they're one of the better closers than Liam Hendricks. Yasmani Grandal, catcher. He's 34. Man, slow as hell, but he's not bad at all. Andrew Vaughn, the 24-year-old at first. You got Garcia at second. Yoan Marcata at third base. And Jake Berger. What a hell of a name, Jake Berger. Tim Anderson and Elvis Andrews at short. And they might have Elvis play a different position. Maybe at third or second sometimes. Most likely probably play him at third. May actually change that at some point for them. Let me see here actually. See if I can edit him for just a quick second later in the game. Well, left fielders, yeah, Jimenez, Benintendi. Really, Benintendi was the only actually freaking person they signed in the offseason. Luis Robert at center, Sheets at right, and that is the White Sox. White Sox, like I said, had a terrible year last year due to losing streaks that went over 7 games multiple times. Injuries, COVID problems, people leaving the team, terrible GMs, terrible person in the dugout. So they had a terrible season. We'll go on to the winner of that division last season, the Cleveland Guardians, top 5 in their roster. Jose Ramirez, Emmanuel Clase, who I consider the best closer in the league. Shane Bieber, Andres Jimenez, and Mr. Sticks, Tristan McKenzie. Great top 5 for the Guardians. A little interesting thing about the Guardians is last season they were the youngest team in the league when it came to age, and they actually made the playoffs. They almost made it to the AL Championship Series, but they lost to the Yankees in 5 games. Started pitching's a good one. Beaver, McKenzie, Quantrill, Plesac, relievers Turchak, and you got, of course, the best closer, in my opinion, Emmanuel Clase. You got the former Tampa Bay catcher Mike Zunino. He only played 36 games last year due to injury, but he's a good catcher. And you got the young Bo Naylor from Canada. He played for the Team Canada in the World Baseball Classic. First baseman Josh Bell, former Padre, National Pirate. And you got Josh Naylor, who must be playing DH for them. Andres Jimenez at second. Had a great breakout season last year. He's only 24, too. You got their top player, Jose Ramirez, at third. And Ahmed Rosario at shortstop. Outfield, great outfield, really defensive outfield. Stephen Kwan, Miles Strawn, Oscar Gonzalez, a.k.a. SpongeBob. Won't forget that. He's only called that because his walkout song is SpongeBob's theme. But that's a really good defensive outfield for the Guardians, and that's a young one as well, so that's Cleveland. I just see them winning the division this year, but we haven't seen the team that I think will win the division. Next up, the Detroit Tigers. Ugh. Terrible. Not great team for them this season coming up. It's funny, their top pitcher currently is Treat Skubal, but he shouldn't even be in the AAA. Go into the 40-man, you idiot. He's probably hurt, and that's why I can't put him on the 40-man. But anyway, here's your top players for the Tigers, not counting Skubal. You got Michael Lozen, Spencer Turnbull, Jonathan Scope, Eric Haas, and Alex Lindgren, and Javier Baez. Starting at your pitching spots, of course, Struble. I believe he's hurt in real life, so that's why he's not starting. Lazant, Turnbull, Rodriguez, Manning, not too good at all. Relievers are not good. Their former closer, Gregory Soto, got traded to the Phillies, so he's not there anymore. So he's replacing him as Trevor from the Milwaukee Brewers. Catcher, you got Eric Haas. Not a bad season for him, but he's not great either. Miguel Cabrera, going to start his last season in the. I can't believe he's 39, but this will be his last full season in the leagues. So I hope he has a good final season. And of course, you have the young Spencer Torkelson, former 3rd overall pick. For the second base, that's very terrible. Cesar Hernandez, most likely will be playing second. Jonathan Scope at 3rd. Shortstop Baez. Yeah, fucking awful season. Jesus, did he have a bad season? Struck out 147 times. Left fielders are really Carey and Akil Baddoo. I prefer Baddoo. There's Matt Valen and Riley Green. Green's most likely going to be starting in the field because he's a great defender. And you got Austin Meadows over at right. And that's the terrible-looking Detroit Tigers. Definitely not a great-looking team coming up. Then you have the Royals. Top 5 for the Royals. Perez, Bobby Witt Jr., Brady Singer, Scott Barlow, and Zach Greinke. And Vinny Pasquantino. Love saying that. So the Royals starting for pitchers, Brady Singer, Zach Greinke, Jordan Lyles, Brad Keller, Yarnbrook. Not bad, but not great either. Aroldis Chapman is a reliever for them, and Scott Barlow's their closer. So not an okay bullpen, not a bad closer. Catcher, of course, is Salvi and MJ Melendez. You got the Italian Vinny Pasquantino at first with Nick Pratto. Ryan Gomes and Michael Messi over at second. Nate Eaton and Nicky Lopez at third. And you got the star Bobby Witt Jr. at short. Franmil Reyes, former Guardian, for Cleveland's going to be most likely in the field to start. I don't know, he may not. Drew Waters. Big yawn. Drew Waters at center field. Hunter Dozier is mainly going to do right instead of Edward Olivers. But that's the Royals, and then we're going to get to the team that I think will win that Central this season. The Minnesota Twins, that's if they stay healthy. Byron Buxton, Carlos Correa, Johan Duran, Joe Ryan, and Pablo Lopez. Nice looking group here for the Twins. Like I said, that's if they stay healthy. I think they'll win that division. And starting pitching is the young Joe Ryan, Pablo Lopez, the former Miami Marlins, because they got them from a trade that sent Luis Arias to the Mariners. Sonny Gray, Manuel, relievers Duran, Johan Duran, man. Jeez, this man just throws smoke. This dude throws 103-mile-per-hour fastballs. And you got Jorge Lopez as the closer. Catcher is Christian Vasquez. Used to be Gary Sanchez, but he left. First baseman's Jose Murata. Center base, Jorge Polanco. Usually he likes to play short, but thanks to Carlos Correa, he's not. You got Kyle Farmer at third. Short is Carlos Correa. One of the strangest off seasons I've ever seen in my entire life. The dude went to like 3 different teams before he finally actually still remained in Minnesota. Which, I mean, he went to the Giants first, failed a physical, went to the Mets, failed a physical, and then he signed back with the Twins. And the field, Joey Gallo, Byron Buxton, and most likely Michael A. Taylor will be in the field for the Twins. I don't know why Max Kepler is going to be in the field rather than Michael A. Taylor. Or they might have Buxton over in the DH spot. That's the Minnesota Twins. If I had to rank the division from 5 to 1, for prediction-wise, 5, Detroit Tigers. 4, Kansas City Royals. 3, the Chicago White Sox. 2, Cleveland Guardians. 1, Minnesota Twins. Really, you can just put Minnesota or Cleveland or Chicago in any one of those spots just because that whole division is just a wide open division. We'll now head to the AL West. To the World Series champions, the Houston Astros. Top players in their team: Yordan Alvarez, Jose Altuve, Kyle Tucker, Famer Valdez, and Christian Javier. Hell of a team over in Houston. Starting pitching is probably one of the best in the whole league with Valdez, McCudgens, Javier, Garcia, Brown. Relievers Abreu, you got Presley at closer. Catcher Corey Lee, the young Corey Lee, and will be sharing time with the veteran Martin Eldonado. Oh, I hit the Angels one by accident. First baseman, former White Sox, Jose Abreu. Surprisingly, he went there, but you know what? Sometimes you just want to go to the best team in the league. Second base is Jose Altuve. Breckman's at third. Jeremy Pena, the World Series MVP, is at short. Yordan Alvarez is at left with Michael Brantley. Chas McCormick's at center. And Kyle Tucker, the underrated Kyle Tucker, is at right. That is the World Series champion Houston Astros right there. Who knows if they're going to win the World Series this year, but they can definitely win the division again. Los Angeles Angels are up next. Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout, the two best players in the world, but they haven't done shit on the team. Well, I shouldn't say that. They've done basically everything they can for the team, but the team can't hardly ever make the playoffs. Trout's only been in the playoffs 1 year, and Ohtani's never made the playoffs in his career. The only time that Trout made the playoffs was, I think, 2013 or 2012, one of those 2 years, and he got swept in the wild card series. Hunter Renfroe, Tyler Anderson, and Brandon Drury running out the top 5. All off-season acquisitions. Pitching is the really weakness of the Angels. It's why they haven't really done anything in a while. Other than Ohtani, they don't really have too many players that are good at pitching. But they did pick up Anderson and Patrick Sandoval, Ren Devers, and Jose Siri. So they got a younger pitching core, but not bad. The bullpen's what kills them, though. They got a terrible bullpen and terrible closing pitching. Catcher, mainly Max and Logan O'Hoppe. First base is Walsh and Brandon Drury. Second, I probably most likely Walsh will be playing over in the field, and Drury might be playing second while Walsh is at first. Second one, don't worry about that. Third base, Rendon's usually hurt all the damn time, so mainly will be playing Gio Urshela, but Rendon will most likely start at third for them. But he really should be playing DH. Shortstop, David Fletcher. And in the field, Taylor Ward, Mike Trout, and Hunter Renfroe. Poor Brett Phillips. I remember when he was playing for Tampa Bay in 2020, and the dude hit that game winner for them in the World Series. Good times those were, but that's the Los Angeles Angels and a bad team, but who knows where they can go there. And welcome to the worst team in the game. Ugh. The Oakland A's, or however long they have left until they go to Las Vegas. Alemus Diaz, Seth Brown, Zach Jackson, Ramon Laureano, and Jace Peterson are the top 5. Ugh, I hate talking about this team. It's so bad. It's top pitching. Oh, God. Paul Blackburn, James Kapperlin, Jeffers, Mullen, Wilchuk. Ugh. Zach Jackson, Trevor May's a closer. Good God, this is so bad. This team's so bad. Shane Langeliers is mainly going to be their catcher. First baseman, Seth Brown with Jesus Aguilar. Tony Kemp's at second. Third is Jace Peterson, and Diaz is at short. Left fielders, Rooker, Clark, Lariano. And that's it. I don't want to talk about the A's anymore. They're so bad. And it's time for one of the more exciting teams in the league. We go from one of the worst teams in the league to one of the best teams to watch. And the Mariners' top players, Julio Rodriguez, the Rookie of the Year winner. Luis Castillo. Teoscar Hernandez, the former Blue Jay. And Andres Munoz and George Kirby round up their top players. Starting pitching's a nice-looking core. Nice relievers, a great closer. You got Cal Raleigh over at the catching position. You got Ty France at first. Colton Wong at second. They picked him up from the Brewers. You got Severino at second. Or Sanchez. Severino is technically how he goes, but Sanchez at third. J.P. Crawford short. And then in the outfield, A.J. Pollock, Julio Rodriguez, and Teoscar Hernandez. Nice looking team, Seattle. They finally made the playoffs the first time in 22 years last season. And the Texas Rangers, a team that spent a lot of money in the offseason. Jacob deGrom. That's a hell of a pickup they got from the New York Mets. Marcus Semien, Adolis Garcia, Nathaniel Lau, and Corey Seager ran out the top five. Pitching, they picked up a lot of actually fine people. Like I said, Jacob deGrom, probably the best pitcher in the league if he went healthy. Nathan Eovaldi, Martin Perez, and you got Danny Duffy and John Gray. Brock's the reliever, and the closing's meh. Catchers, Jonah Helm. At first, Nathaniel Lau had an underrated season last year. Marcus Semien at second, Brad Miller at third, and Corey Seager at short. The outfield, Bubba Thompson, Josh Smith, Tavares at center, and Adolis Garcia at right. And that's the Rangers. Not bad for Texas if I ranked the AL West from 5th to 1st. Of course, last is the terrible Oakland / Las Vegas A's. I think they're going to Las Vegas at some point. 4th, ugh. 4th is tough because from 2nd to 4th, it's tough to rank them. I think 4th is the Angels. 3rd, Rangers. 2nd, Mariners. 1st, Astros. It's tough to rank 4 to 2nd just because it's all teams that could very well be 2nd or 4th or all the way down to 4th. It's just tough to rank them. This is the team wheel, by the way. I love this. Okay, this is the team that the game thinks is the best in the game. The Atlanta Braves, Spencer Strider, Austin Riley, Ronald Acuna Jr., Max Fried, and the NL Rookie of the Year winner, Michael Harris II. Great looking team over in Atlanta. Great starting pitching, an amazing bullpen, and a great closer. Travis d'Arnaud and Sean Murphy are the catchers. They got Murphy from a trade. Olson's at first. Ozzie Albies is at second. Hopefully has a healthy season this year. He suffered a bad leg injury last year. Riley's at third. And Vaughn Grissom is at short. Outfielders, Marcel Ozuna, Michael Harris II, and Ronald Acuna Jr. is in the field. I think they might put Jordan Luplow actually at left instead of Marcel Ozuna. Who knows? And that is the Atlanta Braves. This team thinks that this is the top-rated team in the game. And I don't blame them. This is a great team. The Miami Marlins. Top players. Sandy Alcantara. The NL Cy Young winner. We'll get to the AL Cy Young winner soon because he's on a different team. Chaz Chisholm, he's the cover athlete for this game. Gene Segura, Trevor Rogers, and Dylan Dylan Floro. Now, the Marlins, the thing with them is they have good pitching. Other than that, they suck in every other thing. For the catchers, Nick and Jacob Stallings. First base is Garrett Cooper and Yuri Gurriel. Luis Ariz, there he is at second, former Twin. Gene Segura at third. And shortstop is John Birdie and Jose Iglesias. Fielding's where this team is bad. Brian De La Cruz, Jazz Chisholm, and Garcia / Jorge Soler. And that's the Marlins. Yeah, the Marlins are a young team, and they got tremendous pitching, but other than that, they're not that good of a team. Another yawn. We can't stop yawning. And now we get to the Mets. Justin Verlander, the AL Cy Young winner. He went here in the offseason. Max Scherzer. You got Mr. Edwin Diaz, Pete Alonso, and Francisco Lindor. Definitely one of the top starting pitching rotations in the league. Same with relievers and bullpen closing. Catcher, of course, Francisco Alvarez, their top prospect. I think he's number 3 in the top 100 for prospects. Alonso at first, the polar bear, and 2-time home run derby champion. McNeil at second. Eduardo Escobar at third with Brett Beatty. And Francisco Lindor at short. Outfielders, Tommy Pham, Brandon Nimmo, and Starling Marte. That's the Mets. Mets are definitely a heck of a team. They did lose a few pieces in the offseason, but they're definitely looking to win the division this year after finishing second. Phillies, the team that went to the World Series last year but lost to the Astros. They have a great team, one of my favorites in the whole league. Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, Aaron Nola, JT Realmuto, and Zach Wheeler. What a team. Starting pitching's nice. A fine bullpen and a better-looking closing area for the Phillies here. The fighting Phillies. JT Realmuto, the best catcher in the game. Hoskins at first. Josh Harrelson at second. Alec Boehm at third. And Trey Turner at short. The outfield is Kyle Schwarber, Brandon Marsh, and really it's Nick Castellanos and right, but he's mainly going to be DH, so it's Bryce Harper. And that's the Phillies, the NL champion Philadelphia Phillies. And finally, the second worst team in the game, the Washington Nationals, Joey Meneses. Their rookie from last year. I know he's 30 years old as a rookie. That's insane. The money-stealing Steven Strasburg, Lane Thomas, and Jameer Candelario with Kyle Edwards are your top players for the Nationals. I hate talking about this team because of Steven Strasburg. You have Mackenzie Gore Gray with starting pitching. Terrible bullpen. Terrible catching, but they're young. First baseman, they don't really have any really good ones. Second base, Luis Garcia's not bad. Jameer Candelario's not a bad third baseman. CJ Abrams, the super young shortstop. I like him. Fielding, Alex Call, Derek Hall, and Joey Meneses with Lane Thomas. Not good at all. And so I'll talk about the division. 5, so worst to best, so 5-1. Washington Nationals, Miami Marlins. Oh god, third to first is hard to rank. Phillies third, Braves second, Mets first. You can basically just change third to first at any time you want, because they're all really good teams. Almost done here. We got the NL Central. Cubs, they spent a lot of money in the offseason. Dansby Swanson, Nico Horner, Marcus Stroman, Jameson Tovan, and Seiya Suzuki as their top players. Starting pitching, not bad. Bullpen could be a lot better, though. Same with catching, but you got the old Trey Mancini at first. Nico Horner's going to be at second. Patrick Wisdom and Christian Moreau are at third. Dansby Swanson at shortstop. Their fielders, Ian Happ, Cody Bellinger, and Seiya Suzuki. And that's the Cubs. Cubs spent a lot of money in the offseason, and I hope for them that they have a good season out in Wrigley Field in Chicago. Another terrible team. Cincinnati Reds. Tyler Stevenson, Alexis Diaz, Hunter Green, Nick Lodulo, and Joey Votto are the top players. Terrible team. Pitching other than Green and Lodulo are bad. Diaz is a fine closer, though. I'll give it to him. Tyler Stevenson's actually a good catcher. Joey Votto, former 2011 NL MVP. Jonathan India, former NL Rookie of the Year winner. Ely De La Cruz, I love him. And Kevin Newman's going to be at short. Fielding, Jake Fairley, Nick Senzel, and Will Myers are in the field. And that just rounds out the terrible but young Cincinnati Reds. Probably the best pitching team in the league. The Milwaukee Brewers, Birds, Woodruff, Peralta, Williams, and Adames are the top players. Like I said, amazing pitching on this team. In my opinion, the best pitching team in the league. Especially with Devin Williams as a closer. There's William Contreras, former Braves catcher. But their lineup's not really that good at all. Rowdy Tellez at first. Abraham Tolholm's mainly going to be playing second. Luis Arias at third. He had a great World Baseball Classic, though. Willie Adames at short. And in the field, Christian Yelich, Garrett Mitchell, and Tyrone Taylor's at right. Winter's mainly your DH. And that's the Brewers. Like I said, great pitching team. But other than that, not much going on for them. The young Pittsburgh Pirates, best players. Brian Reynolds, David Bednar, Andrew McCutchen, O'Neill Cruz, and Brian Hayes. The 6'7" shortstop, O'Neill Cruz. It's not bad for the Pirates. I mean, they got some really young players. Like, they got a lot of guys that are 28 or younger. Really, Andrew McCutchen and a few veterans are only older than 28. So that's not bad at all for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Definitely going to be a fine season for them. And we'll get to the best team in that division. The St. Louis Cardinals. Top players, NL MVP. Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, Ryan Helsley, Tommy Edman, Willis Contreras. Hell of a lineup for the St. Louis Cardinals. The only problem that they have is their pitching. Mainly their bullpen. Other than that, they're a really good team this season. If I had to talk about the division, 5-1 for the NL Central. Number 5, the Reds. Number 4, the Pirates. Third, I think it's the Brewers. Second is the Cubs. Excuse me. Mid sneeze there. And number 1's the Cardinals. And we'll get to the NL West right now. Arizona Diamondbacks. Top players, Zach Gallen, Christian Walker, Mauro Kelly, Andrew Churfin, and Evan Longoria. A lot of trades for players here over in Arizona, like Lotus Storial Jr. used to play for Toronto. Kyle Lewis as well. He used to play for Seattle. He came here. And who I think's really going to be the Rookie of the Year winner in the NL, Corbin Carroll. Amazing player. So yeah, still some pretty nice young talent in Arizona. They definitely got some veterans to help out the young boys. And they got some actual good pitching this season. And they get to the team that's probably definitely the worst in the division, the Colorado Rockies. C.J. Cron, Daniel Bard, Brandon Rogers, Ryan McMahon, and Chris Bryant are your top 5. Not a great team over here in Colorado, and their ownership's even worse. I mean, when you trade your franchise's most likely best player, Nolan Arenado, to the Cardinals for like a bag of chips and a chocolate bar, I think you have problems. And their GM's not even that good either because he came out most recently during a interview and said that this team is good enough to play 500 ball. That is not what you want to say. You want to say that your team's going to be a good team and make the playoffs. Not, we're just going to have a 500 season. That's terrible. Dodgers, a team that's lost a lot of power but still really good. Mookie Betts, Clayton Kershaw, Evan Phillips, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith. Nice looking team for the Dodgers, but they're going to be pretty banged up to start the season. They already lost Gavin Lux due to injury, so they're going to have to do something to get back into the race of the NL West. I see this team definitely finishing first or second in that division. It's going to be a tough division to win, though. They got some teams that will be looking for competition. And then you have my favorite team in the whole league, the San Diego Padres. Manny Machado, Juan Soto, Xander Bogaerts, Yu Darvish, and Joe Musgrove. Heck of a team over in San Diego. They spent some money to get guys like Bogaerts and extend some contracts of Darvish and Musgrove. Of course, Tatis is going to be missing the first 30 to 40 games of the season thanks to a suspension. But he could very well come back and return to almost MVP form. In my opinion, the Padres will probably most likely win the division this year due to the Dodgers losing a lot of power in the offseason. And the last team in the league, the San Francisco Giants. Top players, Mitch Haniger, Logan Webb, Camlo Duvall, Brandon Crawford, and Alex Wood. Oh crap, hit the wrong button. The Giants, they do have a lot of nice pitching, actually. All younger pitching. But the problem with the Giants is their infield is terrible. Other than Brandon Crawford, they don't really have anyone in the infield that's actually good. Meanwhile, in the outfield, they have fine people like Mitch Haniger and Mike Yastrzemski, but other than that, crap. Giants, they do have some nice prospects. Mainly will call them up during the season if things go bad. Now, who do I think will finish from 5th to 1st in the NL West? 5th is the Rockies. 4th is the Diamondbacks. 3rd, the Giants. Really, you could change the Diamondbacks to Giants. I might do that. Actually, I'm probably going to go Giants 4th, Diamondbacks 3rd. So, let me try that. Colorado 5th, Giants 4th, Diamondbacks 3rd, Dodgers 2nd, and the Padres at 1st. So that's the entire league. I'll talk about games here in just a second. So, the first game you'll most likely be seeing on the channel for MLB The Show is this game here between the San Francisco Giants and the New York Yankees. I could do the Braves and Nationals in Nationals Park, but I don't think the channel wants to see an entire murder scene of the Washington Nationals happen, so we won't be seeing that game. After that game, probably most likely we're going to be doing the Orioles and Red Sox game. If not that game, it will be the Brewers and Cubs. So a nice first video of the team overlook for the MLB The Show game. After I eat lunch and stuff, I'll have the game between the Yankees and the Giants. So we'll see you for that game when it happens.